Hello everyone and welcome to Factorio. I'm Par and I'm gonna be playing Seablock now. In the previous episode, what did we do? What is my spreadsheet? Can't do anything without the spreadsheet. Right, we built steel sheet coils. Right, I can even see it here. Okay. Now it's clear what was happening. We reworked this block pretty much completely, and now it's eating lots and lots of iron. You can kind of see how much iron is being consumed here. And yeah, we are basically producing like regular iron plates and iron sheet coils. But that's not the new part, because we used to have a similar, well, a build with pretty much exactly the same purpose above. However, what we did change, we added similar production for the steel sheet coils, which gives us plus like around 15 or something % productivity from this recipe. Like, this recipe is better. Instead of using 160 molten steel, we are using just 140 molten steel in order to get 4 steel sheet coil. Okay, good. For today's episode, what I wanted to do, I wanted to do exactly the same thing, but for this one, for the iron. No, not for the iron, for lead and for solder. That's basically the idea that I had. I would like to process them, because as it turned out, lead, it actually uses, like here you can see, it uses cretinium. And we've been having troubles with cretinium, so let's improve this build a little bit. Now we'll need to think a bit. Oh, so many train stops. We'll need to think a bit. We'll need to figure out what to put where. Where do we place lead, and where do we place solder? Let's think. So, if we were to produce solder, we'll be using this process. That means that we'll need 2 times less molten, sorry, not molten, 2 times less furnaces, 2 times fewer furnaces. Let's see, I kind of want to have solder produced below, I think. Do we have solder anywhere? Okay, we have lead. Here we can produce 60 lead from 2 belts of lead. Okay, so we'll need 2 belts of lead just to get enough lead plates. I think that's too much. I feel like it's quite a lot. What are the alternatives? Do we have any alternatives for that? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure whether we can change anything here. Okay, let's see if we fit some of that there. Will anything happen? Okay, let's say that is enough. Let's start clearing this belt. We'll delete this belt as well. I'm basically deleting lots of stuff now here. And I feel like the main problem here will actually be the smelters, though it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like 5 smelters are able to give us a lot of lead ingots. Okay, we might want to make this part a little bit more compact, just, you know, just slightly. Just a tiny bit more compact. But it's looking pretty good so far. is looking pretty good. And this thing, we are able to produce the ore by using 13, basically 14 sorting facilities. If we were to increase it to better facilities, we could actually produce higher numbers. Can we push it to 90? 50, almost 90, almost 2 blue belts. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Right, let's start deleting all of this. And all of that as well. Just deleting everything here. Could also clear these buildings. And very, very soon this part should be emptied from solder. Once that happens, we'll just delete it. Yep. I don't want to waste, like, oh, come on. We lost the power. It's fine, it's fine. So let's start copying this build that we are using here, maybe also with the loading part. Let's do it with the loading part, so that we can... Oh, it's a bit adjusted. Let's not copy this one. Let's take this one, the original. This is the one with which we started. So let's get this one. And we are prepared to place it right here, like this. Okay. Okay. We need to wait for the robots to place this power pole. What else are the robots doing? They're also supposed to be building this part, right? Oh. We seem to be having an issue with the power. Let's fix this one. 1, 2... Okay, looking good. So now we should have better coverage here, and hopefully... Well, we'll need a connection. How are we connecting that block, these blocks to the power? We are doing it with these transformers. Okay. Okay, let's add a couple of transformers there. So I think we want 2 of them to be here. Okay, now this is done fully, and we should be able... okay, I just want to delete all of that, and let's paste the new thing right there. This is our new thing. Okay, good. Except this part, we'll need to adjust this a tiny bit, but it shouldn't really be that hard, because, okay, the thing is we can actually shift all of that to the right by 1. And probably leave it like that, I think. We'll need to double check. We'll figure this out. Shouldn't be that difficult. And look at that, we also have potentially some space to get a little bit more iron in. That's good, that's good. So we have an option to increase the speed of this part by upgrading basically the belts to blue belts and upgrading our sorting facilities. So this change alone should give us almost like basically 3 red belts, but it will be 2 blue belts. And then we have lots of space here to figure out what exactly to do with smelting. So we'll need to do something about that at some point. Yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult. We don't need lots of charcoal for this build, because it doesn't seem like we do. Right, one thing that we want to upgrade here. We don't need this. Well, first of all, we do not need this thing there at all. We don't need to send whatever it is we are sending further up there. And secondly, this part, okay, we'll keep it. It will be used for the for lubricant at some point in the future. We don't have that yet. Can we? What I was thinking, we could basically remove this part completely and change this to also have inserters from the other side. Kind of very, very similar to how we are doing it from above. We could have inserters taking stuff from belts, basically right here, like this. And this could be our tin that will be consuming from here and from there. And we'll need to merge this two, right? Right. That's what we want to do. We want to merge these two. How can we do that? I think if we do it like this, let's see. Right, look at that. This is the way we'll be merging the tin. Good. So now we will have tin. Except tin shouldn't go there. Tin should go here. And this stuff should come from above. Just like this. Nice. This is looking pretty good. Let's think. I don't like that this inserter is kind of on the corner here. Let's move it over there. It will be the same thing really, just that the inserter will be slightly on the other side. We will need to add... Interesting. Okay, let's do it like this. We will need to add some power poles. So we have power poles, good. And now we want to change this so that it becomes the solder, this one. So this is solder from now on. This is lead. Right, okay, so this is lead. That means that this part will also be lead. That should coils with water only. What? Interesting. Really? Yes, really. It's with water. We want to have a better process. How much blue sands do we have? We have 600 there and probably 0 here. Yep. That's bad. That is bad, but on the other hand we have a lot of science, and I think that lead is needed only really for the science. Oh, at least it's not needed for solder, right? That's the important part. Not for solder, for lead, as in lead plates, is not needed for blue science research. So that's good. That is good. Okay, so this has to be with water, and this one, the solder. Yes, we have a good recipe for solder with coolant. Awesome. Now, since we have water coming up there, can you make it a bit better? Like, in theory, we could just cut this thing and keep the coolant half of the build. This build will be with coolant, and this one will be with water. And it should just work, I think. We'll just have really, really bad lead production. So how we following it up? We tend to have this thinks the closest thing to be about the recipe that we're producing from this side. So we'll be uncoiling stuff. The uncoiling stuff there. I'm not even gonna be switching things to, you know, to like transporting coils here. I think it's a little bit too soon. We'll want to do that in the future, but not today, not right now. We don't want to do that now. Okay. This seems to be mostly working. We need now a huge build producing lead ingots. And we basically are aiming for 3 red belts. Right, let's see. We need to produce 3 red belts of lead ingots. We need... Okay, we don't actually need that much. Let's do this. We need to remove this part. We'll probably remove this one, at least for now. We need to figure out what to do with this later. We'll fix this part. It just might take a tiny bit of effort. Just a tiny bit. Let's see. We have a build somewhere, I think, with steel producing oxygen. And this one has 8 plus 5, and we need 6 plus 4. So the thing is, we can just copy this one exactly as it is. Yeah, we'll copy it exactly as it is. It's a tiny bit overbuilt. Well, it actually doesn't have to be overbuilt. We can size it down a little bit, like this. Nice. So, we have these 2 things. Oh, no, not this one. This one's ready. Now, the only thing that remains, we just need to place 8 blast furnaces and feed them. Well, I'm just gonna count it as if we have 2 blue belts, because I think that's gonna be easier. Yeah. So each one will need to get more than 10 lead ore per second. That's a lot. That's a lot. So let's try to see how we can place 8 of them actually. Okay, 1, say 2, and we'll copy this whole thing. So seem to have lots of space horizontally. That's good. Now we will need to... How should we do that? Should we just kind of do it like this? 3 and like 4 up, and everything else will be pulled down. Is this what we are doing? I think so. Let's move this a little bit to the side, like this, so that the connections kind of align a little bit. I could say better, or just align, period. Okay, 1, 2. Actually, we need all of these connections everywhere. Nice. This is looking pretty nice. I like it. I like how it's looking. Cool. Now, the next thing that we need to do, we need to feed the things into this furnaces, right? So let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll basically have 4 or something, and we will need to use express splitters, I think, for that. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. The 4th will be the last one. Like this, and like that. Well, we can actually upgrade it later, but yeah, it's okay. Or maybe we should do it now. Let's upgrade this thing now. so that we know, at the very least, what, like, how exactly it's supposed to be connected. This part. Oh, I didn't want to cut it, I wanted to copy it. It's okay. Move it a little bit down. These things will be connected like that. Good. Do we have this? Yes, we should have them. And looks like we can actually move this down by 1 or by 2. Like this. Nice. We still have oxygen connection. Now, the only thing that's missing is we need to send those. Well, we kinda need 3 belts. No, we will not have 3 belts. We'll have 2 belts. We'll have exactly the same thing with blue belts instead. We'll be using blue belts for that. Yay. I think it's our... Well, it's not exactly first usage of the belt, it's second. It's first proper usage of blue belts that we have in the base. The other usage was... where was it? This one. Oh no, this is second usage. The first usage of blue belts actually was here. Here is like a tiny section of blue belt connecting from here to here to make sure that these assembling machines can always place the things on the belt. Okay, anyway, just a small note. Let's copy that. Paste it here. We will move this down by 1 and we'll connect things. So here, I kind of feel like it would be great just to send as much things as we can to the left. Probably, I don't know. Seemed like a good idea. And this is the output that we're getting. So here, the thing is, this is gonna be a little bit tricky. We need to send 3 belts. We need to convert this 3 blue belts into... Sorry, 2 blue belts into 3 red belts. How are we gonna do this? So first of all, I'm gonna give priority to the left belt. Because that's... like the left belt and the left side, it will go to solder and that's the priority for us. Also because solder can consume less belts, so it's probably making more sense in the priority. Let's put from here. This one doesn't actually have to have priority. No, let's keep it consistent. Okay, nice. Now I think we can actually do it like that. Now, what we need? We need... How do we split 3 belts? I don't even know. I don't know what to do here. Let's just do something. Let's just say we'll send it down like that. We'll have... maybe another thing over here. Or maybe we'll just prioritize it over there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making some random changes at this point, hoping that it's gonna work. It's probably gonna work. It's probably gonna work. Right. Except here we actually want it to be a bit differently. I need to send the majority of the stuff from the middle belt to the left here. And here will be consuming. I also want to consume from the left here. Because this belt is supposed to be full, so I basically just want to use that belt. Well, it's... If you have 2 things coming, some coming from here, some... Okay, it doesn't matter. Like, the input priority here doesn't matter at all. But it is what it is. I added it, and we'll stick with this. It's fine. Right, and this part, it will have to be... Well, it will not have to be improved. We can actually do it even now. Why don't we do it now? Why don't we have a really good iron production? Oh, sorry, not iron. Lead production. Okay, we'll get back to that. One thing that's missing here. We are missing power poles. That's a pretty important part of any build in Factorio. You kinda want to have your power sorted out. Okay, this thing. I'm just gonna be voiding it. I'm gonna be voiding it. So how can we make it? Is there like a nice way of voiding it? I don't know any nice way. I'll just copy paste this thing a couple of times. I will add a power pole. Actually, we'll be using this power pole for that. This one. So this is the power pole that we'll be using. We'll figure out better placement of the lights. That's okay. But at least this way I don't have to, you know, I don't have to think too much. Oh, it's kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to minimize the amount of thinking that I have to do when playing Factorio. It's funny. Okay, we can actually feed this thing. I completely forgot about that. But what we need to feed it some... we'll need to feed this build some charcoal. Right, let's do this. So we're adding charcoal over there, here and here, and we need this stuff to be sent down here, like that. Now what's this? No idea. Probably nothing important. Good. Let's wait and see. Oh, I'm still missing power. Let's give it some power. So here's some power connection. Nice. This is gonna work. Oh, but that's not everything. We also need some charcoal sent over there. That's interesting. That means that we need to figure out something better here. Can we figure out something better? Yes, we can. We can do something like this. Nice. And we want to give priority to the left. We want to give priority to this line because it's a dead end. And this one, on the other hand, is not, because it can actually connect here. We will export charcoal. We need to figure out what we are doing here. We will not be exporting lead ingots or anything. However, we still need... okay, we need to fix the connection here. Connection there, connection here, connection there. One thing that we don't have, maybe we should. Let's add it right here. I want to have a tiny box with a filter inserter. Where is my box? Is this one. Passive provider. Good. Is it inside turbo port? Yes, it is. And I want to have a filter. Okay, this will be fine. I want to have to export lead ingots in case they are needed for anything. And they might be needed for some stuff when we're like setting up some processes. They can be used as like a catalyst that just recycled forever. Okay, this is... how do you sort them properly? Let's see. So the stuff that is on right side goes to the right side. And on the right side, we'll have lead thingy, this one. It will be sent to the right. This thing is checking whether the amount of solder coils is low. Oh, what's this? I got to copy it a couple of times. Here, this is not needed. We want to copy there as well, and here. This one is not needed. So this is about lead sheet coils. This is about solder coils. This is about actually lead plates, and this is about solder, like normal solder. Same thing there. This is solder. This is sheet plates, and this stuff is gonna work like that. Now we can wait a little bit and see how it's working. I'm really sad that our research didn't progress at all. That means that we didn't produce any blue signs at all. What are we missing here? We're missing red chips. That's a bad sign when you're shot on red chips. And red chips are not produced because... Oh... Interesting. Because we are shot on solder. That explains it. That actually makes some sense, to be honest. Okay, we are producing 2 red belts of this stuff. That is good. We don't seem to be having any shortages of lead, which is surprising. Oh, I know why that is. Because this process is really slow. Like this part of the process is really slow. We will not be able to scale this one. Sorry, we will not be able to scale the solder one, because this is basically at the maximum. But we are sending a full red belt of stuff to it, and another red belt of tin. So this seems to be working, and like, you know, in theory we could even play around a little bit and have some of this process consuming some other things like zinc or whatever the options there. Like, there are multiple options to produce solder. We could play around with that. We have access to warehouses pretty closely, so we also have like this area. If we really have to use it, it's like our like emergency space in the blocks. What is happening here? Let's see. We are not consuming all of that fast enough, and we are actually missing a little bit of power on that end. We will have the connection there, and it should work pretty well. Alright, this thing. We need to set the priority is to send stuff over there. That's more important because this is a dead end, but on the other hand, the consumption here is not that high for like this prioritization to matter. So it's whatever. Alright. We are missing the recipe, and we cannot really produce it. Oh, look at that. We have a train. Where did it go? It's going to the mall. That's a bit sad. I wanted it... Oh, but it's under 3,200. I wanted it to go to red chips. I want this stuff to go to red chips. But, can it actually? I have a feeling that now with 31,000 it should be able. Let's see, is this the... chips? Yes, it's bringing 25,000 of solder. That is good. And what is this train doing? Okay, it's finishing its journey. Good. Good. Stuff is looking really great. Right, I think I just said that I would like to upgrade these things. Let's try and do that. Let's try and speed this part up. How do we do that? We will want to have this thing upgraded here. Upgrade. This one. Great, and we will want to use another upgrade planner, I feel, where we'll take okay, let's start with something simple. Transport belts become in blue. The other transport belts also become in blue. Undergrounds, they're blue. The other undergrounds, they're also blue. Splitters, they will be blue. And red splitters will also be blue. Next, we have loaders are blue, and these loaders are also blue. Good. So we have this awesome upgrade planner. If we apply it to this part of the build, it should do exactly what we want, I think. Maybe even this one. Yep. This should do it. Oh. This is still working, right? While that's happening. Yes, it's working. I'm surprised why we have such low amounts of these things in there. I want to fix it. Right. Wait, how are we fixing this? Yeah, this part is just slow. This is just slow. It's okay. This one, it's limited to 5. I don't want to limit loaders to 5. I want to have more of them. And yeah, we'll get this 100 of express, whatever the name. What's the name of these belts? Express transport belts in no time. Should be there. Almost everything's upgraded. The loaders will take some time, but it's not a big deal. Nice. And with that, we actually should be getting almost full, like 2 full belts of lead delivered here. Right, let's see. Is this looking good? I mean, this upgrade doesn't really matter. Let's take a look at whether we are producing solder. We are producing solder. Can we make it work a little bit faster? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's the problem is. Is this the problem with us just unable to send stuff? Like, are we unable to output things fast enough? I think we have some problems with the output, so how about I upgrade, like, specifically the line about the solder exporting line, like this one. Let's try. Let's see how it goes. So this hopefully will make things a little bit better, but I wouldn't count on it too much, to be honest. I'm not counting on it too much. We could also upgrade these inserters, because I think we have better inserters now. We do. We should have them. Okay, good. Do we have lights? I don't think we have lights over here. We got to fix it. What else do we need lights? We have lights here, it's great. I think I forgot some lights right here. Right. Now we have lights there as well. Good, so that was today's episode. We built, well, we started producing, what's the name of these things? Solder coils. And yeah, and lead sheet coils, but it doesn't really count because we don't have proper recipes there, so solder coils. Solder coils. And we improved, I think, the speed of their production. I'm not actually sure, we need to double check. So here is our solder. It used to be produced with like 3.6 thousand per minute. Now it's also 3.6. Okay. We didn't improve the speed of solder production. We didn't do it. But that's okay. Honestly, that's completely fine. Yeah, that is fine. If we need more of solder, we'll just copy this block somewhere. And maybe we will not need lead. Because like in theory what we could do, we could swap this part to be also all about solder. Like if we really need solder, we could have a separate dedicated build just for solder. However, right now, our main issue was with Cratinium. We are having some problems with solder now that we see, but it might be because the build was actually stopped for a while, so this doesn't really mean that we are having immediate issues with this. This means that we have immediate issues with Cratinium and copper ore, right? We are just like chewing through all of this. Speaking of that, I kind of forgot to connect the stuff. My bad. I should have probably done that a bit sooner. Wait, cannot reach? What? Oh no. Okay, let's get transformers. Let's just place them like here and here. We'll be able to do something about that at some point. I hope. Okay, this, we need to go there and fix that part. Let's quickly fix it because before everything blows up, the to power overload mode. Okay, now we have the connection. We probably want to stamp this thing a couple more times. At least I do. I definitely want to. What? Alright, we'll need to power these things up, and then once they're powered, then the roboports will get roboport coverage to finish like these things. Okay. So we will not finish these blocks in this episode, but we will connect them at the very least. Well, maybe. Okay, here's the connection. We are waiting for 2 power poles. Here's first power pole and second power pole. And now lots of stuff is supposed to be happening now. In there. Okay, good. Good, that's great. Let's get back to solder. What is our solder? No, this is not solder. This is solder. Okay, so we built this block. It is working. Things are being produced. Specifically the solder. Oh, actually, we are getting more solder. Because it's not only about the solder that we are outputting, right? It's also about the other thing. So, okay, let's get back here. Solder. It's not only about this solder, it's also about this stuff. We are getting 1,500 of extra solder coils, which, no, it's not extra. 1.5 minus 1.2. We are getting extra 300 solder coils, which is another 1.2, because it's like unwinds into 4, I believe. It's another 1,200 of coils, solders. So instead of 3.6, we actually have around 4.8, I think, which we should see the change in the graph once these belts are upgraded to like higher tier. Okay. We did it. Let's take a break. This was episode 165, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!